if anyone ever has the opportunity to do Ibogaine and they have any issues whatsoever, whether it's trauma, whether it's addiction, whatever it is, it will crack you wide open and show you things about yourself. And it shows you exactly what you need, not what you want. You might go into it wanting to see something, but it's going to show you what you need, not what you want. It's a surrender thing. It's the ego. Yes. I don't want to let go. I don't let go.
How was the DMT trip?
The DMT is much quicker. It's intense. Because they call it the ego death.
I've heard.
But it can feel like you're actually dying. My mind was twisted for a long time coming back from overseas.
PTSD?
Going through, yeah, that's what I'm diagnosed with, whatever you want to call it. I transitioned from that to being homeless to boom, getting thrust right in the middle of Hollywood. No time to work on myself. But during this whole time, there was no satisfaction in anything I was doing. Like it was very cool, but it was very empty. And so I was really interested in plant medicine for a while. I've done mushrooms and different modalities, but there was something about Ibogaine that when I found out about it was calling me.
Aaron Williamson, it's a pleasure to meet you, dude.
Likewise.
We had some conversations on the car way over here. Let's start with how you started with your career in the military.
So that's an interesting story. I came from a pretty broken childhood, didn't really have any direction. I saw this one guy on the varsity football team used to look like, remember Goldberg back from WWE?
Of course.
So it looked like that, shaved head, big traps. Graduated, joined the Marine Corps, and when he came out, I was like, who in the hell is this guy? Like, it made no sense, the transformation. Not only the way he looked physically, but the way he carried himself, and then the way he spoke. And me not having any direction, I said to myself, that's what I need, that's what I want to do. And then you see the big, the old school Marine Corps poster that had the cammied up Special Forces guy with the K-bar. And I joined, and that's where I learned everything about myself that I didn't know was within me.
Sure. Elaborate on that.
Leadership, discipline, respect, hard work, what work ethic is, but also too camaraderie.
Yep.
The things that really make a responsible adult man what he should be.
Agreed. I never served. That's why, and I have much respect for those who did, but I got everything like that from martial arts. Yeah. I started training when I was 15. I still train to this day. And I think those qualities of a man that you stated are the pillars. They're the foundation of a good man, a strong man.
Well, and like you just said, you didn't serve in the military, but you got it from martial arts. But if you think about the foundation of martial arts and the military, it's all built on structure and discipline. And that is what I think today is missing in a lot of areas.
For sure, man. I think, and we can discuss whether this is done purposefully or not, but I think we are creating a generation of soft people, victims, average. And when we look at what we are capable of, what we as and this female and male, what we are capable of, I think it's a fucking crime that we are allowing ourselves to be reduced to mediocrity.
Yeah. Well, nothing good comes out of that.
No.
And I don't want to walk around in a society that's based on these low value targets rather than just being strong men and women who have integrity and who are just immersed in the fact that let's be good people, let's do good things, and let's live strong lives.
Yep.
At the core of it, it's very simple, but somehow today it's gotten so overcomplicated because of this the sense of entitlement that I don't know where it came from.
Good. Yeah, I have no fucking idea where that came from too, because to me, a sense of entitlement should come from achievement.
Right.
And that's not to say that entitlement is good, but when you've done nothing and you are nothing, where the fuck is this sense of achievement coming from?
Yeah.
And that's a great question, because I do not understand why that mentality is perpetuating. And as you said, why it started.
Well, when I served in the Marine Corps, one of the biggest takeaways that I got was, one, how great this country is that we live in, because you have this cultural perspective now. It's not just what you're seeing on TV or watching in movies. It's like, I've been to places to experience what it's like to live when you don't have the freedoms and liberties that we have here in America.
Yep. And what I've noticed, coming back and forth now for the last several months to the US versus Canada, is in the US, you guys have a sense of patriotism. We've lost that in Canada. We have no sense of what it's like to be a Canadian. People are not proud to be Canadian any longer.
Well, it's a fearful thing here in this country to be in the similar situation where that's something that's at stake, where displaying the American flag can trigger people to a point of thinking that it's a political statement.
Exactly.
It makes no sense.
No. And that to me, that's a portent of what may be coming down the road. Like, what is the ultimate goal of generating that kind of mindset? Like, that's a fabricated strategy to have people look at the American flag and be ashamed of it. And it's so bizarre to me too. And, what I find fascinating when I look at these sort of machinations that are going on politically and socially, you can look at it and see it for what it is, but then you have to question, why is that happening? Like, it's very simple to accept something as it is, but I like to, ruminate on it a little bit and say, well, why is this happening? What is the end goal? Take, for yourself as a Marine, you would have an end goal, but there would be a strategy to achieve that end goal, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So why are we being framed to think and act a particular way right now in the US?
So I have so many thoughts on this, being a fitness guy. You ever seen the movie Elysium with Matt Damon?
Yes. The separation of the ultra wealthy and the poor. Yep.
It's almost like that's kind of the direction that it feels like we're trying to be pulled into.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not to that extreme, but just in that sense where it's this total separation of complete power over everybody. And me being a fitness guy, when your health is compromised, you really don't know who you are. You don't know how to function properly, because you're living in this altered state it's not real. What I mean by that is, it's as if this system wants us fat, weak, and lazy.
Yes, I fucking agree.
For complete control.
Agreed. Right. And that, that statement is so evil, right? And I completely agree. When you take a look at even just for current males, our testosterone levels are down far lower than they ever been historically. That's not by chance. Okay. That's fucking something's going on here. The perpetuation of, it's okay to be okay. I've got to accept you as you are. It's okay to be weak. The fuck it is.
Yeah.
Right. It's never okay to be weak. So why are we perpetuating that mentality? And I agree with you. I think it's because they want to create. And the question is, who is they? Who are they?
I wish there were names today, but I think at the end of the day, we all know who they really are.
Right.
I don't think people quite understand the repercussions of living in a completely weak domicile society, because if our national security is weakened to the point where you think everything can be solved by love, then you're going to learn the hard way of what it feels like to become a war-torn country, because you're going to be bombed and exposed and all the things that you would think you're fighting for a certain reason to protect the fabric of what our society is and what it was built on, to all of a sudden think that it's all racist now.
Yep. But that's a very easy picture to paint, right? You're racist, you're a homophobe, you're a transphobe. Those labels make it very easy to identify and differentiate between parties.
Yeah.
Right. Even so simple as, Republican and Democrat. black and white, people that wanted the COVID vaccine and the people that didn't. I think we're creating these factions just to make it easier. Like, oh, you're a Democrat. I don't like you without even knowing you. Right. And I think
this is an interesting conversation for me to have because I've never really gotten into talking about any of this. I don't want to say I'm neutral in it all.
Okay.
But it's very simple to me. I'm an American.
Yep.
I want what's good for this country.
Right.
And also at the same time, I'm thinking of my family. I want my family to be safe and secure.
Right.
And so at what point are we missing the boat on that simple concept?
Right. We've convoluted this argument. It's as you said, it's a very simple perspective. I want what's best for my country. I want what's best for me and my family. How is that overcomplicated? Right. And why should anybody have the right to take that away from you? Why should anybody take a look at what you just said and said, that's toxic masculinity? We identify all these problems, like I said, with a label to make it easier to say you're wrong.
Yeah.
And I agree 100% with what you said.
We're at a tipping point right now, and it's a hard thing to really accept that. And for me, purpose has become such a huge piece of my life now that I'm trying to do everything I can to be the best I can be for my family, but also out of my whole life experience of what I've been through between the military, contract work, Hollywood, homelessness, the business world.
Okay.
All of it, my anchor being fitness. There's a lot that I can pull from, and I've just been racking my brain for years trying to figure out like where do I fit in the grand scheme of this really complicated picture that's starting to really present itself in a way where I can see where it's going, and I don't like it, and I want to do something to help.
And again, I think that's brilliant because what I've always advocated for people is take a look at yourself and where you stand on certain issues. And if you don't like what you see, correct it. But you had the wherewithal and the strength to look within. Most people don't want to do that. Most people don't want to look at themselves and say, well, this is fucked up and this is fucked up and I'm weak or I'm this, as opposed to I've identified the problem. Now I can fix it. And then that comes with another set of problems because most people are fucking lazy, right? Most people don't want to take that step. They don't want to do the work to fix themselves. And I find that sad. That's why, to me, I hope that I can inspire people to believe that they are capable of making that change. They are capable of being more than they are. And to me, if you settle on mediocrity, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Now, you said about your experiences in Hollywood, in the military, in private work. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I had a very interesting and unique Marine Corps career. I was infantry by MOS. I had a platoon commander that didn't want to let me go to do the things I wanted to do in the military. So right off the bat, I kind of had a bad taste in my mouth with the trajectory of where I was going to be able to go in the military.
Okay, where did you want to go and where did he want you to go?
I mean, when I joined, my whole vision was being a part of some type of special forces, the Marine Corps Force Reconnaissance. That was my dream, joining the military. But I say God had other plans. That's my acceptance of it for me.
All right.
And so I ended up, doing infantry, did the infantry grind, the ground and pound, but also became the section leader for the Marine Corps Body Bearers, which is a very small, unique section based out of DC who does funerals at Arlington National Cemetery.
Okay. Yeah. When you mentioned that, I found that weird.
Yeah. And it was, I say it's my most humble duty because if you think about that being your job, you're the last image a family's going to have of their loved one. And to me, I really took that personally, and I did hundreds of funerals. So it's something that's had an impact on me long-term.
Okay.
And moving from there, I ended up getting screened to become personal security for General Peter Pace, who was the vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff at the Pentagon. So now I go from that duty right down the street to the Pentagon.
Right.
I'm at the White House every week. I've got the
wow.
I've got the TS SCI clearance. I'm seeing all this classified material, and I'm thinking back, like I was this broken kid, and now like here I am at the pinnacle of what I could have never imagined me doing.
But that is inspiring, right? You know, I quite often I have guests on the show that they come from a broken past. And in life and in any circumstance, we can decide to take the easy way. You had come from a broken path, as you said, past. You could have continued down that road, right? You could have aspired to be nothing. You could have blamed it on the fact, well, I had a shitty youth. It's not my fault.
Mm-hmm.
But you achieved greatness. And that's inspiring to me and to other people. And that is why I fucking love doing this. Because everybody has a story. Not everybody achieves greatness, but I think with a little bit of work, you can be better than you are.
The Marine Corps woke me up. I had, if I didn't have the Marine Corps, who knows how much longer I would have lived. I almost died in 7th grade from a drug overdose. That's how bad it was early on.
Right.
And the Marine Corps showed me what's possible for anybody to do if you can really do the work on yourself, to dig in and find the things inside of you that are there. You just have to like let them live, let them grow with you.
Yes, brother. Yes. That's fucking yes. I agree 100%.
Yeah. And that's, and the Marine Corps is it's where I developed this belief system that I don't care what anyone tells me I can't do. If I have the desire and the intent to do it, I will figure out a way to make it happen.
Yes.
And for some reason it doesn't happen. Along the way of trying to make it happen, another door is going to open to lead me down whatever that
potentially something better.
Exactly.
Yes. Right. Because again, it's very easy to. So in the core case of my business, if there's a goal that I have, I am fucking resilient, dude, and I am like single track in achieving what it is for my goals and what it is I want to achieve. But for some reason, if something doesn't work, I take respite in the fact that it wasn't meant to happen. And that probably wouldn't have been the best for me. What did I learn on the way down that road? What skills did I acquire? Because I've mentioned this many times in my, on the podcast. I had a coach, and during fighting, he would say, you will either win or you will learn. Right.
Yeah.
And as opposed to saying you will win or you lose, but you will win or you will learn. If you win, cool. And if you don't win, you will learn why you didn't. And I think that's a very powerful statement, because nothing is really negative in that result.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for you just now admitted that in 7th grade, you were doing drugs and you might have OD'd at that time. But you took a different path, and look at you now.
Yeah, and my mom really believed in me. Looking back on it now, like I owe her a lot, and so I want to do good with my life. You know, from not only for myself but for my family, who had this belief system in me while I've been on this crazy journey of doing the getting out of the military, doing this crazy contract work, which was where most of my time overseas in Iraq was spent.
Okay, so tell me about your contract work, because I find that interesting.
It's what I did over there was a part of the war you never really hear about, because at the time it was all classified.
Right.
But we were for the, let's say, the Department of War now, there's a biometrics task force. And we were the test bed for the biometrics task force. So we were the implementation of using biometrics in a combat theater. Mm. And you don't realize how effective it can be. I mean, when you're taking fingerprints off of exploded ordnance, bombs, bomb making material,
right?
People trying to come on your base, vetting them the right way,
right?
Having systems in place that update constantly every day. So as new prints are added, if these people keep trying to come on the base, it's you might be a day worker during the day, and then at night you might be a bomb maker. But maybe we'll take something that you've worked with, and now all of a sudden your fingerprint is in this database, and you try and come on our base the next day, and we got you.
Right.
You can't hide your fingerprint.
Right. What do you think of the current state of the military?
I think right now it's in a much better place than it was previously.
How so?
Just by having leadership in place who puts a priority on national security, and by taking the nonsense out of the military, and the military is not about how you feel. It's about a mission.
It's a tool.
And you know, at the end of the day, there's people's mindset and idea of the government and the military is whatever. It's all over the place.
Yep.
I know for me, having served, I have a special place in my heart for the military and for veterans, because whatever your thoughts are on it, we joined the military because in our minds, we wanted to do something good and something bigger than ourselves. And really, you develop this sense of responsibility and camaraderie that you're willing to give your own life for someone else. There's not many people in society that would be willing to do that for their own family.
For sure. Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
One of the comments I've made is that you see quite often now acts of crime or attacks on people, and instead of anybody helping, they're filming it on their phones.
Yeah.
That to me is just insane. Someone is in distress, someone's suffering, and instead of helping, you think it's a better idea to fucking post it to social media.
There was a show that came out a while ago on Netflix called Black Mirror.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, I remember watching it when it came on, and like we're living in futuristic episodes of it right now. Technology's been such an amazing thing, but also it's completely polluted people's minds to that point. Instead of me helping, I'm going to film it.
Right.
And granted, I think filming can be beneficial, but at the same time, it's like, am I going to film this or am I going to stop this person from being killed?
Right. And when you have 6 or 7 people filming it, you can rest assured some other motherfuckers got it. I should go help.
Somebody's filming something always.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think of the state of the war right now with Iran?
I've really taken my eye off of politics a lot recently. Right. Because I recently had a life-changing experience.
Yes, I definitely want to talk about that.
Changed my mind on a lot of things, and politics, religion, sports, none of it makes sense to me now, because no matter what you say or what you do, it's going to be wrong. There's no right anymore about anything. Everyone's got a voice about everything, no matter what side you think you're on. I'm not on any side. But at the same time, you observe and you're like, well, you're on this side. You don't want this side to do this, but now you're on this side fighting with this side, which ultimately is going to bring this side back to, so I pull myself away from all of it. And I'm focused right now on more of an internal spiritual journey. Nice. That actually brings me peace, because getting lost in the noise of what's happening right now is it's a polluted environment that I have a hard time navigating in right now. I still keep my eye on it a little bit, just so I have an idea current events wise what's going on. Right. And then maybe if something doesn't make sense, I'll do some research. Yeah. But it's just so much distraction for me right now.
Yeah, I concur. The problem is that I feel, because when I see an injustice, I need to say something about it or do something about it. And though I think I would be spiritually and emotionally better off to turn a blind eye to it, then I in doing so, I feel that I'm not doing the right thing. Yeah. And so you have to ask yourself, what's more important, self-preservation, self-happiness, or perhaps enlightening other people to the injustices that are happening? But as you so rightly said, what is truth anymore? What is right and wrong anymore? Because we're getting, information from a specific source. How do we know that's even legit?
Yeah, and I learned that through lived experience, having that clearance that I had. Right. Seeing the things that were real, and then seeing it regurgitated on TV. Yeah. And you're like, that's not really what happened.
Right. So how did that make you feel?
Well, I mean, it's nauseating, because you see today that people base their whole lives and their whole doctrine on what news networks tell them.
Right. How fucking crazy is that to me?
And I don't want to look at it as like I'm just turning a blind eye. This next piece of my life is important in a very different way,
Yes.
but also it's its own controversial way because of the spiritual aspect of what we were talking about in the car, and a lot of people don't understand that, but we've gotten so far away from God that we can't, like, we don't have time for that anymore. And it's like, wait a minute, if there's so many different ways that you can frame stuff to look at, whether it's through neuroscience, whether it's through religion or your faith. But at the end of it all, it all really ties together. And when you're constantly in this sympathetic state, this fight or flight, this stress state, you're eating like crap, you're not sleeping, you're so negative, your whole neuropathology is like wound up so tight that you hate everything. You're living a miserable life, and you don't even understand. If you just took a step back, breathed, went on vacation, took a day off of work, got some real sleep, put some good food in your body, you might think of things a little more clearly. It might make a little more sense.
As we were discussing in the car over here, we were discussing about social media and its effect on society. And I think, as you said, anything could be good and bad, but anything taken to an extreme can be bad. And it goes back to my point about we are making decisions and creating philosophies and personal opinion based on information that, to simplify it, may not be truth. And that, then if that's the case, and this is something I've been ruminating on a lot, I've been meditating on a lot, then what is truth? Because if what we come to the conclusion on is not based on factual information, then what do we have? What are we standing for?
Yeah. Yeah. And we're standing on like rubble right now. I mean, it's a really sad thing to see. It really is, especially knowing like history is history.
Yeah. But let's even say that.
You can't erase it.
But even the history we know, yesterday at the party, we were discussing that, and I was discussing it with another gentleman. Even history is presented in such a way that things have been omitted. Things are shown to you in a way that they want you to see it. Talking about World War II and talking about anything historical.
The founding of this country.
For sure. Right. Like that. It's such a mind fuck to me, because what is truth? What do we believe in? And is that based on truth?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we were talking the other day, and one of the reasons why, you and I are talking today was about your experience with Ibogaine, right? So first of all, until I spoke to you, I had no knowledge of that. So tell me what that is, first of all.
Ibogaine is a psychedelic medicine.
Okay. How do you take it?
So it came from the Bwiti tribe, which is basically in Gabon, South Africa. I believe it's from like the Ibogaine shrub. It's from the root.
Okay.
And in that tribe, in that place, they would, grind it all up and eat it.
Oh, okay.
For the way it's implemented now, it's in a pill form.
Okay.
So, my mind was twisted for a long time coming back from overseas.
PTSD?
Going through, or that's what I'm diagnosed with, whatever you want to call it. I transitioned from that to being homeless to boom, getting thrust right in the middle of Hollywood. No time to work on myself. Ended up training like these massive actors, got into acting and stunts, moved to LA, like things were crazy. And then, but during this whole time, there was no satisfaction in anything I was doing. Like it was very cool, but it was very empty. Like there's no, all right, yeah. So I trained this person. So I acted in this movie. So I did, it was fun. But when I went home, what did that do to help my
your soul?
My soul. Yeah. My internal state. And so I was really interested in plant medicine for a while. I've done mushrooms and different modalities, but there was something about Ibogaine that when I found out about it was calling me. So I finally ended up going with Ambio, life sciences down to Tijuana.
Okay.
They're kind of the leader right now in the Ibogaine space.
Okay.
It's something. If anyone ever has the opportunity to do Ibogaine and they have any issues whatsoever, whether it's trauma, whether it's addiction, whatever it is, it will crack you wide open and show you things about yourself that, and I say crack you open, it's, you go into this altered state and it shows you exactly what you need, not what you want. You might go into it wanting to see something, but it's going to show you what you need, not what you want.
Okay, so that to me comes with a host of problems because like, I actually have a few guests coming on talking about psychedelics because, as you know, RFK is now, I think they're streamlining or the ability to use psychedelics in healing people with PTSD and so on and so forth. And psychedelics have always been fascinating to me because you're giving an ability to see something that may help you, but what if it doesn't help you? Like that's why I've never done drugs, because there's that odd chance of fucking you up, right?
Well, if you think about, well, one, the way it's administered is a huge piece of it.
Okay.
Like this is a very medically supervised process.
Okay. So you're
I
not
mean, you're doing blood work, EKGs, hydration IVs. Like you're in a medical setting.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
This isn't like I'm going down there and I'm going over to Joe's house and we're going to kick back and do Ibogaine. Nothing like that. And the people who have done Ibogaine or tried to do it on their own are usually the ones who die.
What?
Well, it's the reason why Ibogaine is so effective, but also why it's so medically supervised, is because it has an impact on the heart.
Oh fuck!
It's like when you're doing it, you're hooked up to a heart monitor.
Right.
So you have to be healthy enough to even go through the process, right? And if you're not, there'll be a plan in place to help you get to the point where you can go through it. I don't know anyone, and I haven't heard of any. I'm sure there might be some out there of people who have come out of the experience in a negative way. Now, granted, you might go through an Ibogaine journey and have a really stressful experience. You might have a panic attack or something that's really hard. But when you come out of it the next day, it's they call it gray day.
Okay.
Like your mind has just been so exposed to this massive dump of serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine. Like you're just maxed out. So the next day you're really tired, and you have this whole day to just really process what happened. So you go under, you're like Ibogaine's got you for about 12 hours.
Fuck.
And the interesting thing about it is, for my experience, I thought I was going to go into it and really have this heaviness of whatever it was from childhood, whatever it was from Iraq, whatever the trauma was. For me, it was the most peaceful experience I've ever had. I mean, throwing up is common with it. Nausea is common with it.
So are you cognizant while you're doing this, or are you fucked off?
That's the crazy thing about it is you put a blindfold on.
Right.
And you're in this altered state, but you can hear everything going on around you. So some of, like, there's auditory hallucinations.
Mm-hmm.
You have the visual hallucinations, but when you do Ibogaine, it's really important to go in with really specific intentions of what you would like to get out of it. And I think that's maybe where some people go into it and they're not very clear. The more precise you are about what you're trying to get from it, the better path you have to achieving better success with it. But you know, for me in my personal life, it's always been a mess. Never been in a really healthy relationship.
Okay.
And that was my journey with it, is love, the ability to love, the ability to accept love. That wasn't even a thought in my mind going into it. I'm you know, when the medicine kicks in and grabs you, it's like I got thrown back in my seat in a theater.
Right.
And now I'm seeing these images float past, but it's like a picture of a car driving in the middle of a desert, a picture of flowers flying by, the trees blowing in the wind. I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Right.
You know, you're trying to like talk through it and figure it out.
Right.
Every
Is
time
someone there with you while you're doing it?
there's a whole medical staff down there, doctors, nurses, everything.
Should they need to get you out of your trip, for lack of a better word, is that possible? Or you're like, that's it, buddy, you're on this ride for 12 hours?
You're on the ride for 12 hours. I mean, I think maybe under some dire circumstances where you were having a heart issue,
Right,
there would be a way to get you out of it.
right.
But you have to be prepared going into it. No heart issues, like you're in it.
Yeah.
You do have some ataxia, which means have a hard time standing up. So
Okay.
like you don't really have, you're not gonna be able to stand up and walk around basically. Like
Right.
Ibogaine wants you still. There's a bed down there. You got a blindfold on. You're there for 12 hours. Yeah, but for me, the piece that came out of it, and not everyone has the experience I have. Some people will deal with those harsh issues of whatever the trauma was, but most often what I hear, specifically from veterans, even going through everything that they've gone through, it comes back to their childhood.
Okay, what if somebody doesn't have, to their knowledge, any trauma they're trying to, like, for me, like, I'm interested in what you're talking about, and I'm thinking in my head, maybe I'll try this, but I don't, to my recollection, or I don't have anything I'm trying to deal with. I would just like to see, I would like to have the experience to see what is shown to me.
Yeah. Well, you'll get something out of it. And to your point there, so in the group of people I was with, there was a gentleman who was older, maybe late 60s.
Okay. Wow.
A doctor. And he had a panic attack. He was seeing things that weren't real, trying to get up out of bed, like yelling the whole night.
That's 12 hours, man.
He was having a hard time with it.
Yeah.
But coming out of it, like he remembers what he went through.
Right.
And now it's like putting a puzzle together. So you're trying to figure out, all right, you see, so now you have time to actually process what happened. So so this is where the whole neuroplasticity discussion comes into play, because of the neuroregenerative properties of Ibogaine that last for months.
Oh.
Afterwards. So you're in this place now where you're trying to put the pieces together of everything that happened. And once you start putting those pieces together, you get a clear picture of what you actually got out of it. For me, it was much quicker.
Okay.
Because I was seeing my girlfriend.
Current one or
current?
past?
Yeah. So it was like anytime I got lost or I couldn't figure out what was going on, it would show me her.
Nice.
And for me, that was profound.
Yes.
Because it was, I saw her mom. Her mom died. I never met her mom.
Wow.
Her mom was in the picture, in the very first picture that she showed me, grabbing her hand. So it's like one of the doctors who is part of Ambio, when he did it his second time, the first time he said was a mess, because he thought it was going to be one thing and it was something else. He had a hard time with it. The second time he did it, he started seeing dead relatives.
Fuck, dude, I don't know, man.
And one, he saw his twin brother. The thing is, his twin brother died at birth. He never met him. The mother never told anybody. He didn't even know he had a twin brother. So after the experience, he asked his mom, and it was like she saw a ghost, because she was like, how do you? I've never told anybody.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the power of it is, but it just goes to show how deep into your mind it can get. Like as a baby, he knew he had a twin brother, but never really, was never physically connected with him.
See, that speaks to something that I had a conversation, I think you were there at the party yesterday, where, there's been discussions of how schizophrenics can believe so forcefully and vehemently in this identity that their blood type changes, their eye color changes. And, what I was speaking on yesterday is what potential have we not achieved with our mind? So you said with this taking the Ibogaine that this gentleman went back to essentially birth and discovered that he had a twin. Like, how much have we undiscovered about our potential?
This is why I believe what just happened last week with this new funding for psychedelic research is
Yes.
so important.
Yes.
Because it's now not about, pharmacology and pumping your body full of all the stuff that's actually doing more harm or,
Oh yeah. Fuck.
I mean, it's basically taking years off of your life instead of like, all right, well, you're going to become healthier now. So there's I don't want to say his name on here. He probably wouldn't mind. I know he's talked about it. There's a very prominent person who I met down there who was there doing his third Ibogaine experience. After the first two, he was doing brain scans for science because he was part of this big push that made this deal happen with the president signing this.
Oh yeah.
And after 2 Ibogaine sessions, his prefrontal cortex had improved by close to 30%. So the benefit to psychedelics is massive right now, and we haven't even scratched the surface of it yet.
Sure.
So with Ibogaine, I got there on Tuesday, Wednesday night at 10 p.m. is when it took effect. You're there in the bed until 10 a.m. the next morning. You have a gray day.
Yeah.
So Thursday was gray day. Friday, you do 5-MeO DMT.
Perfect. I was gonna ask you if you had done anything else.
Yeah. So 5-MeO DMT was like the Ibogaine gave me this epiphany, this like awakening moment that gave me so much now that I understand because it showed me so much in the journey. And now the 5-MeO basically allowed me to release everything, right? So I've been carrying, when most people meet me, or if you don't know me, I'm such a quiet guy. I'm a massive homebody introvert.
Me too.
And I'm just not interested in chit chat and conversation. It's like tell me what you got to tell me, and then let's just get to whatever it is.
Yeah, me too. Which is strange for me doing this, right?
Yeah, well, for me too.
Yeah.
So carrying around so much pain from childhood, from military, from the whole cesspool of nonsense that Hollywood was, to bad business partnerships and losing money and being taken advantage. It's just everything's been stacking. It's like a big pain stack over my life. The 5-MeO allowed me to just let it all go. I've never cried so much in my life. I mean, it was when I got out of that, I remember going out on the patio in Tijuana, beautiful home, on the porch, eating a bowl of fruit, my shirt off, getting the sun, listening to the waves, journaling. I mean, I understand why when people do these plant medicine experiences,
right,
sometimes they come back and they just go off the grid because you experience a level of peace and clarity that you don't want to come back into real life, and all of a sudden you're connected to your phone and there's this and there's this and everything's noise. It's like nothing matters.
That's fucking powerful, dude. My question is that you said after you did the trip, the Ibogaine trip, that you were fortunate enough that you were able to piece together what it meant. Have you heard of anyone not capable of piecing together the information they received?
I think some people might need more. They might need to go deeper with it because maybe there was some block somewhere in there where they weren't fully aware of what was happening because maybe something could have been so dark or so terrible. You just really don't know what you're going to get. The gentleman who is one of the founders of Ambio has done it like 11 times. And every single time he's done it, he said has been a completely different experience.
But how much insight? So for you said you received a lot of personal insight, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now this gentleman, one of the founders of Ambio, he has done it 11 times, and each time he's done it, he has experienced something different. How much? So then I would presume that it's not always a personal insight you're receiving.
No, I mean, it could be like some people are doing it for addiction. Like it's very common for someone to go into Ibogaine for the purpose of addiction. Coming off of it, they could have been addicted for their whole life to something.
Okay.
They come out of it, never touch anything ever again. nor do they have the desire to touch it.
So
there's the OCD, any compulsive behavior, anything that has to do with like dopamine, responses.
That's a strong statement, because then you could make the conclusion that addictions are an actual physical brain condition, and it doesn't necessarily correlate with impulse. There's an actual physical component to addiction.
Yeah, I'm not a scientist, but I'll tell you that the people who I have spoke with who have been addicted to pills, alcohol, whatever drugs, come out of it, and it's like someone just turned a switch off. Don't need it anymore.
Do you think that people are going into it with the hopes of actually stopping the addiction?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, if that's the main purpose going in, I'm sure. But also, by nature of what this whole re-circuitry, this rewiring of the brain that happens over the time of doing this, it's just part of the outcome.
So as you stated, the gentleman had brain scans and his prefrontal cortex had grown 30%.
Improved, yes.
Improved.
Yep.
Define improve.
I don't know exactly what that would mean. I just know on the brain scans, however you can show improvement is what he saw, which is why he's continuing to do this, because what he's doing is more on the science-based side of it to show that it's not just about going into it for trauma. It's not just about going into it for addiction and whatever the behavior is. It's actually showing the neuroregenerative properties that Ibogaine can have on the brain. So that comes down to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, all these things.
You're talking about the sheath around the brain, correct? That's fascinating. How was the DMT trip?
The DMT is much quicker. It's intense because they call it the ego death.
I've heard.
But it can feel like you're actually dying. Like
dude, that's not selling it to me, man.
Well, it's a surrender thing, right?
Yeah.
So you have it's the ego.
Yes.
I don't want to let go. I don't let go. You surrender, dude. What you're gonna get out of it is amazing. Your inability to surrender is what keeps people from getting what they can get out of it. Like, some people think that they can let go, but their ego, like, there's just something they don't want to let go.
Yeah.
You let it go, you're gonna experience something profound and peaceful.
Yeah, but see, like, I have a healthy ego, and I think I can fucking guarantee you that would be a hard fight for me to do.
But why would you not want to let go? Like, what would you want to hold on to if you knew that you were going to be able to let go of something deep down that could potentially be?
Fair question. I think that if I let go of my ego, I would let go of my drive, my desire to be the best at everything I do.
When I came out of that experience, I had full forgiveness for everyone who has ever done anything wrong to me.
That's great for you, but again,
well, I guess what I'm saying is the level of peace that came out of it, like the fact that you could be carrying around so many heavy things that are actually affecting you in an internal way that you're not aware of.
Fair. Being
Being able to turn that switch off and letting it all go, man, it was. I don't know how to put that into words, because I'm the guy who's like, oh yeah, I got you. I'm never letting it go.
That's me, man.
I will make sure everyone knows what a POS you are.
Right.
And now I'm like, I let all of it go, and I'm thinking about, why would I even want to say his name anywhere in this next chapter of my life? Because all that's going to happen now is someone's going to go look him up, and then maybe they actually do like him.
But do you not feel that, like, I'm a big believer in justice.
Yeah.
Right? And if somebody wrongs me or someone I care about, I feel the need for justice.
Yeah.
Now, some people will say, well, God will judge. I'm not comfortable with that time frame. Right? Now, one of my mentors, and, Martin, he's my wrestling and jits coach and judo coach, and he believes in forgiveness, and he's been wronged by many people. And I'm like, fuck that, man. I just can't. I'm just not that godlike. I can't do it.
Well, you say that because that's right now the way you are. But if there was a point where you could let it go, who knows what this conversation would be then?
No, 100%.
Because I'm carrying around a burden that's not even mine. And it's not like I'm saying I forgive everyone. Like, I forgive them. Let's go have lunch. Like, no, I forgive I forgive you, but you have no place in my life ever again. I don't need to look at you. I don't need to say your name. You just don't exist to me.
Yeah, there's a saying, having revenge or seeking revenge is like drinking poison and having the other person die. I just think it goes back that I feel if someone wrongs you, that they need to pay. And you're right, because that is not doing anything to that person. This is a burden, a weight that I am carrying. That's a very deep conversation and mindset.
Well, also, like, how can you force that to happen? You end up spending so much time and effort, like I was,
right,
to do something that wasn't making any difference except me losing sleep, me losing money, me losing peace. Meanwhile, he probably wasn't even thinking about anything I was doing.
Dude, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with you. That person, as we discussed in the car, that person who wronged you, I'd be seeking fucking retribution.
Yeah,
and you said I don't care, and I wonder which way is more enlightened, because I was upset when you told me. And you don't give a shit, right? So who's got peace here, right? Yeah. You don't care, and I'm like, that motherfucker.
I just know I've had this gut feeling, this intuition for so long that there's something big that I'm meant for in life. I don't know what big even means. That could be something big beyond my comprehension, or that could be something big that's personal.
Sure.
Has
epiphany.
So I don't really know what that means. But being able to have this clarity now that I have, my life is in a completely different spot. People talk to me now and they don't even recognize that they're talking to me, because I sound so much more at peace and just so calm.
Yeah, dude, you are like fucking calm. When I speak to you, I feel like I'm going to take a nap. Like you're like, there's no angst in you. There's no impulsiveness. There's no need for aggression, or it's very soothing. And considering the way you look, that runs contrary to your physical appearance.
Yeah, it's dude, I feel so blessed and grateful right now. Like it's the words that keep it's just always top of mind right now. No matter what's happening, I just feel grateful for whatever it is, right? And I'm not anywhere near where I want to be in life. I'm actually in this kind of limbo state right now. And
we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
But I liked what you said, in that you're not where you want to be yet, as opposed to just being satisfied that you're not where you want to be. You did clarify that you will get there.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So let's go there. You as we were discussing in the car, that you have this perspective and understanding about achieving a better health. And that's all encompassing. And that aligns very much with what I believe too, in terms of mindset being an integral part of improving your life. And you're directing it from a physical perspective approach, better health physically. Mm-hmm. Tell me about it.
Well, my anchor, no matter where I've been or what I've done, has always been rooted in fitness. And I've had this goal for most of my life to look like and be an anomaly. I want people to just question, how was I able to achieve what I've achieved? Now having not, and I'm not saying, being in fitness, like there's this evolution that you're never going to quite fulfill.
Yeah.
So there's always room for improvement, but
sure.
I'm in this new place now. So after Ibogaine, one of my intentions going into it was improving my faith, like getting more in tune with something that's bigger than just me.
Okay. Now, do you mean a very specific philosophy about being a Christian, or
just God?
Okay.
God.
And that could encompass any religion, correct?
Well, for where I am, there's only one God.
Right.
And I think today where we're at in society, there's proof of the fact that this one God, everyone has a problem with it because there's no other religion, there's no other God that anyone has an issue with except Jesus Christ.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So we're in these fascinating times here. But when I came out of this, I felt conflicted because I've heard in the past comments, because I've done psychedelics before. Never.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I've just never had this experience. And people will say, "Well, dude, all you need is God. Just find God." Well, there's no way I could have achieved what I achieved with the level that I got to internally.
Yeah.
The depth of where I was able to reach into, because I was disconnected from my faith. Right. So I'm like, well, I did plant medicine. I did Ibogaine. Should I have been able to achieve this through God? So I was confused, and I had reached out to a buddy of mine who I like talking about this stuff with, because he's a Christian who has recently come into faith a couple of years ago. And he was like, God will use any means necessary to pull you closer to him, whether, as crazy it can sound, it can be alcohol, whatever the case may be. He'll use whatever means to wake you up.
Mm-hmm.
This was my wake up call. And after this is where I started having all these visions, these dreams, these premonitions, but also God was just showing up in all these different areas of my life. I would be thinking about someone and they would literally call me. Someone I haven't spoken to in years. And all of a sudden they were a thought on my mind and I get a phone call from them. I'm thinking about me renaming my company back in 2017 with a Christian name that I had no idea what it even meant.
Okay.
So there's all these pieces now that are making sense, where it shows me most of my life he's had his hand on me at some point. I just wasn't aware enough to understand what that was.
Okay.
Because I was disconnected with it. Now, where I'm going is less about me. Everything's been so Aaron Williamson fitness, Aaron Williamson this. I want to be this. I want to have this acting career. I want it. It's me, and I'm like, man, that's a pretty selfish thing, because really, I feel more comfortable now making things less about me and more about something bigger that can impact more people's lives, which goes to the business I created. Mm-hmm. That came out of nowhere. I've had this framework built since last year, and I've just been sitting on it because I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
So I'm just having all these epiphanies now, and I'm in this place where it's like my creativity is on a whole nother level. I'm thinking about things in ways that I've never been able to think about them before. And mind you, I'm still in this neuroplasticity phase from Ibogaine.
Right. I was recently in Cabo, and I did gene therapy. It's called Colero, right? And it has a similar effect where it opens up your neural pathways. It increases your creativity, increases your memory and your brain function. And I haven't had any epiphanies about life overall, but something as simplistic as I was in a conversation with somebody and we were discussing about your first telephone number. And I'm like, how the fuck are you going to remember your first telephone number? And then it came to my mind, right? So again, that goes back to what I said about how we have so much potential with what we can do with our brain function. And I believe it's like we use 10% of our brain capacity. Like, that's crazy. Even if it's 50% of our brain capacity, how much are we underperforming, right? If I said, brother, your heart works at 50%, are you going to be happy with that? You're going to be like, fuck no, I need to get that better. Yeah. And when we think of what we are capable in, and not even intellectually, just from a cognizant basis.
Well, you remember the movie Rain Man?
Of course.
I mean, that's a perfect example of the brain and how, like, right, how much we could be able to utilize it if we honed in on that specific thing. Like, we're in your conversation, you go up and talk to somebody like, how's your brain health?
Yeah, right.
It's not something you even talk about.
No. No, because it's a field that we have such limited knowledge. And when we talk about brain health, I think, actually look at it from a negative perspective. You know, how's your memory? How's your mental cognition? Do you have Alzheimer's? Do you have any kind of form of degenerative brain function? As opposed to, are you maximizing your potential?
This goes back to when we first started this podcast, and we were talking about society, you know, fat, weak, and lazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about what's happening with medications, with food,
yes,
with the noise, everything you're listening to, like, we're so polluted up here that, I mean, you're lucky if you're even using 10% of it. And social media shows that people aren't even using probably 1% of it.
Recent studies have shown that we're actually getting dumber. Yeah. Like, this generation is dumber than previous generations.
But literally, the brain's not changed.
Right.
It's the inputs. It's the overall health, the diagnostics of it. Think about sleep. What happens when you sleep? Why is sleep so important?
Yep.
I mean, there's so many different things that we could be focusing on if we were actually wanting to make people healthier and, you know, cognitively. Which that's
fascinating.
I believe this whole psychedelics, you know, revelation that's about to take place is going to really change people's disabilities, or if that's what you want to call it, or genetics, so to speak. You know, it's like the Alzheimer's, the dementia, the trauma, the depression, like all these things are really at the root cause of it. Very simple. Like when you're at Ambio, the food, dude, the food is incredible. You're eating so healthy. They have chefs cooking you stuff that I'm like, I don't want to stop eating. Like, I don't want to go back home and have to make food because this is so good, but it's so healthy. You're eating healthy. You're doing all that. Like, it's just an incredible experience. And again, like, you were asking some pretty good questions that I can't answer because I've only done it once. I'm not well versed in it to talk in depth about it, but I just know from the people that I know who have went through it. Every single person I know who's went through it, it's been life-changing.
I've heard one of the guys in the industry that I deal with ingredients, he fucking does DMT a lot. And he said it's an incredible experience. My only fear is what if you have a bad time?
But that's the thing though, is you got to, like, not, and I think that's a common thing for people, is they're thinking about the fear and they're thinking about what if, instead of just going in and saying, I'm doing this and this is what I would like to get out of it. And you just let go. And that goes back to the ego. Like, let me go into it because I know, like, I'm talking to all these people who have had life-changing experiences. Why would I go in there and be scared of doing it because of something that couldn't possibly not even happen? And then prevent me from actually getting what's good out of it.
Regarding your sort of philosophy or template for bettering health. So let's touch on that.
Yeah. I want to be strategic about how I say it.
Yes, and don't disclose anything that you don't want to.
Yeah, and
because there's a lot of shady motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, and essentially, I've been trying to think through different ideas of reaching more people with what I want to do in fitness. And again, to our conversation, most of society doesn't want to look like me, us. They don't want to live these really fitness focused lifestyles where it's like cold plunge and hyperbaric chamber and all.
Oh, fuck, we didn't even touch on that either, dude.
Yeah, so it's like there's so much stuff that we love to do because we're like, that's just what we love to do. Mm-hmm. As if people like to go out and hunt and fish, like we're fitness junkies, health junkies. Mm-hmm. But when you think of most of society, and that's across the world, not just here in the country, they have no desire to do what we do. They just want to be healthy. They want to look good. That doesn't mean having a six pack, but also not, having 6 rolls under their chin and, back boobs. And I'm trying to be polite about what I'm saying,
I'm not.
Well, again, this goes back to me, like this whole faith piece. It's like sometimes, like, I used to just be the most foul-mouthed MFer, and now I go to say it and the word just doesn't even come out. It's really strange. Like, it doesn't come out. But anyway, so what can I do in fitness right now that's not being done? And it's not like I'm trying to just find something that's not done for the sake of it not being done.
Sure. Fair. Good statement.
So I've thinking about everything that I've been through in my life, thinking about all the people that I've worked with, thinking about all the questions that I've been asked. What are the biggest issues that I see? And they come down to behavioral issues, lifestyle issues. Fitness it's so one-dimensional. Here's your macros. Here's your training. Take these supplements. Oh, now we're going to add in peptides here. No one's addressing the real root cause of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've created. And it's addressing that behavioral piece. It's addressing that lifestyle habit piece.
Would you say it's a mindset?
I would say for sure it's a mindset, but it's also because we're in the times right now where comfort over everything. That's the mentality. I don't want to do that because it doesn't feel good.
Right. Avoidance.
Yeah. And so I've been very strategic in creating what I've created, because the educational piece of it, when you frame it right, when you can structure everything right, and you can get someone to read it, and it's like a light bulb, it's not going to happen overnight. There's going to have to be effort, and there has to be effort in it. Basically, it's not just going to change by itself because you read this on a piece of paper.
100%.
But at the same time, you don't have to go all in right away, because you didn't get to where you are overnight.
Right.
It took however long it took to get to where you are. So I'm reaching outside of fitness. I'm not interested in anyone who knows about fitness. I want to talk to the people who doesn't know what a macro is.
Right.
I want the people who don't know what inflammation is.
Right.
But think they're eating healthy. Realistically, though, they're not.
So you want the mainstream audience.
Mm-hmm.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a bigger fucking audience. And, I mean, just from a business perspective, that is the right way to go.
Well, I've got some companies right now that I'm about to implement some really strategic cohorts.
Nice.
They feel really good about it, and I feel really good about it.
Good.
And once this actually does take shape, I think this it's on the desk of some very important people at the government level.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at this as a way that I can do something that is not so much about me anymore. It's something much bigger than me that can help a lot of people.
So last point, I was going through your feed last night, and I'm like, oh, this guy fucking does red light. Oh, this guy does ice plunges. Oh, this guy does this. I'm like, so I was like, everything this guy does, I do as well. And I've never seen anybody do everything that I do. And it was fascinating to me. Out of ice bath, red light, infrared. One thing I just started incorporating is, those vibrational plates that you stand on.
Oh, yeah.
I started doing that. So what I do is I stand on that while I'm doing my red light. So I have panels to the front, the back, and to the side of me, full body panels. And then I stand on the rumble plate for 10 minutes at a time. And I was fascinated. It was just so interesting for me to see that this fucking guy does everything that I do. But one thing that we do differ is, in your statement, you said that you look forward to doing your ice baths. I do not. It's because it sucks, dude. What's your ice bath at?
I keep mine around between 46 and 48.
Yeah. So when I really want to push myself, I drop it to just above zero, like 33, 34. And I know that is a fucking bad time. But I like the fact that when it's done, I went against something that I didn't want to do, and I came out on the other side of it.
Yeah.
And I think as people, when we resist the temptation to give in to what's easy, and it's been proven neurologically, whatever the word is, neurologically, that we improve the structure of our brain to continue to be able to do hard things. Mm-hmm. And then the obvious, coming out of there, you feel incredible.
Yeah.
But that, how long do you do for? 2 to 3 minutes?
Usually I go for 5.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I do five. I like to do 5 minutes, and you know, I like it in a weird, sick, twisted way.
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't like it, but I like it at the same time. The idea of knowing that I want to like and I want to do something that everyone else
thinks you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me doing the cold plunge has nothing to do with whatever benefits could come out of it. It's for my mental.
Agreed. Agreed. There are health benefits to it, but for me, it's just simply the mental fight and the feeling afterwards. 5 minutes. Is it circulating or it's flat water?
Yeah, this one's flat.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. That's the one I want to get. One of the ones that circulates.
Yeah. So what I've been told is the circulating ones, because when you're in still water, you still have that heat protection.
Yeah.
Right. But whereas when it's circulating, you don't have that. So when it's circulating, I do 2 minutes. When it's not circulating, I do 3 minutes. And what I've also started implementing is going into the sauna or the jacuzzi, get my body temperature up, and then go into the ice bath. And then when I really want to push myself, I'll do back and forth. I'll do hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold.
The contrast therapy is something I think is really, really good to do, because you're it's like it actually doesn't feel as cold when you're getting back in.
I feel like a little bit of a bitch, a cheat when I do it, but I'm like, no, this is science. This is the way it's supposed to be.
But it, like that's our fun. I think this is where within the realms of the fitness industry, you know, people like to see that kind of stuff. It like you just said, you've been in fitness for how long?
I've had the supplement company since 97, but I've been training since I've been 15. So I'm 58.
In most of your life, and you're in where you are right now, you're still willing to do something that knowingly you don't want to do.
Right.
So it's like there's so many different levels to fitness, and I always say that, like, whatever your level of fitness is, take it to that level, and then once you actually, you know, get to a level where you feel comfortable, then move it up a level.
Right.
And it's this evolution, not trying to go from where you are to level 10 or 100.
Right.
It's like slowly work your way into these things.
Agreed.
Have fun doing it. Learn things about yourself. Challenge yourself. Push yourself. Stop thinking so much about what everyone else is saying online, because really, I mean, you got people online who have these massive followings right now who don't know their ass from a hole in the ground.
Yes, unfortunately. Yeah.
But yeah, to your point, I freaking love it, man. One of my favorite things is doing the really high end hyperbaric chambers.
I have one.
Not the tube one.
No.
The one you get in the glass case.
That's what I have.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like getting in there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, watch a movie, fall asleep. Yeah. That oxygen, like we have so much hypoxia, and people don't realize it until you come out of that and you just feel like you're high.
Yeah.
But high in this amazing clear way.
I find that when I'm rolling or when I'm doing, you know, anything high intensity cardio, it's cake for me.
Yeah.
I do the hyperbaric every day for an hour.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm jealous of that.
Well, you'll get there, brother.
Yeah. What would be your being where you are with your whole fitness career? What would you tell, like, what would your biggest piece of advice be to the person who doesn't know anything about fitness or health, and then the person who is in it but doesn't know how to take it to the next level?
I know that I don't know enough, right? So I'm always seeking ways to improve myself. To anybody who wants to start, I think this information extends to anything you want to do in your life. Honestly, look at where you are, look at what you want, and then have a game plan how to get from A to B, right? And understand that in your route from A to B, there's going to be setbacks. People are going to fuck with you. There's going to be, you're going to have to pivot. And as long as you have the discipline, right? That's why you and I were talking in the car about how important discipline is. As long as you maintain the discipline to stay on that road, I promise everybody that you will get B. And that's it. Just be relentless in your goal. And in your route for self-improvement, pick up others along the way, right? People that are struggling, people that are weak, pick them up, because you lose nothing picking other people up, right? And in that way, the universe will reward you. You will be blessed with helping others and improving yourself. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I love that. Picking the others part up is such an important part of it.
Yeah,
I think
because otherwise you're a selfish prick.
Yeah, and that's a lot of times where we are right now, and I think that's why this new place I'm in is where I'm saying it's less about me, because that means more to me right now in doing that, because I've not done enough of that.
Brother, it was a fucking honor to speak to you, man. Thank you so much.
Likewise, thank you.
We're out.